question, who should win, been thrown around a couple of times. Who could win, that's also been thrown around. But has anyone really stopped to ask who would win? Like, as a certainty? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna find out in my series of who would win. What is up, guys? It is DBZONIC #1 here, and I'm joined by a very special guest, a member of my family who loves a lot of things like I do. So, and today, ladies and gentlemen, this battle is going to blow your mind. Now, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, and welcome to our little discussion battle. Today we are going to be putting together two of the most epic fighters in the franchises that they're in. And I bet all the viewers wouldn't argue with that.
Today we are putting the sons of two of the greatest warriors in the fictional multiverse. We are putting the son of Son motherfucking Goku himself, Gohan, up against the son of the ultra epic Akuma, Ryu.
Yeah.
Now to be clear, guys, we are using Ryu from the comic books, not the video games.
Yeah.
As well, you can probably guess why. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, today this battle is gonna be decided. Who out of these two sons will reign supreme? So let's find out today. So let's get into the origins of these characters.
Alright.
In a world filled with mystical Dragon Balls, people would go around collecting them. Once they collect all 7, a wish would be granted. One young boy collected all 7 and his life changed forever. But then one day he wasn't a young boy anymore, but he had a young boy of his own. That young boy, his name was Gohan, named after Goku's adopted grandfather, by the name of Master Gohan. Young little kid Gohan had a pretty normal life in the mountain area, living with his dad and mother. But one day something happened which would change his life forever. His uncle decided to pay a very unpleasant visit.
Yeah, let's say that at the least.
And ever since then, we saw the first inkling that something about Gohan just wasn't normal. When he saw Goku and Piccolo got the shit kicked out of them, something snapped, and his anger literally took over him and completely infused him with unbelievable power. While Raditz did sustain minimal damage, it didn't exactly kill him, sadly. But throughout the years, Goku, Piccolo, and many other Z fighters would train Gohan to harness his power.
Yep.
And later on, near the age of 12 or 13 years old, Gohan would be the first person ever to achieve the level of Super Saiyan 2.
Yep.
He would defeat the mighty android known as Cell, and would grow up to be an even greater fighter as an adult. He slacked off a bit and lost some of his mojo, but thanks to a little bit of help, having his super hidden potential unlocked by the old Kai, something really came out of Gohan, a power he never thought he could ever achieve. He truly became ultimate, and then he beat the ever-living shit out of Super Buu.
Yeah.
And ever since then, Gohan became one of the most powerful warriors amongst the Z fighters.
Hell to the fucking yeah.
And ever since then, he has been put down in legend as Gohan, son of Goku, the greatest half Saiyan.
And now that's a little outlay on Gohan's story. So now let's move over to our other opponent in this little duo. He started out as, I'd say, fairly normal Japanese child, however, his start to life wasn't really the greatest. Abandoned as a young child, he was brought to the doorstep of a very, very powerful fighter known as Goken. He was raised by Goken for a many few years, and luckily he trained him in the ways of the Hado and karate. Over time, he managed to harness his ability through Hado, and Goken could see that he was going to be great one day. He knew that inside of him he had a hidden strength, and one day on a walk, Goken thought to himself, this kid doesn't have a name yet anyway, because he didn't he didn't even know if he could talk or anything when he first got brought to him. So due to knowing that he's got the power within, he gave him the name Ryu, also translated as dragon. So as the years passed, Ryu obviously continued with his training, getting stronger each day throughout the Hado, mastering also karate too. And then one day, a good friend of Goken's came by with his son, who was misled in many ways, as in the passing of his mother. This was Ken. This was Ryu's friend. Eventually, he became really good friends with, and he became also a partner in the fighting, which enhanced Ryu's abilities a lot more because Ken put him to the test almost every time. And during that time, Goken, he was he gave them knowledge and wisdom, but due to them being their own personalities, they managed to import some of their own, like, I don't know, what would you say, unique styles into their fighting. As you see today, Ken's more of a hot-headed, more aggressive type fighter, whereas Ryu is more calm and chilled out. He's calm and collected. And as they got older, they have obviously eventually had to leave the dojo, leaving behind their master after almost mastering the ways of the Hado and karate. And leaving this on the Musha Shugyo, the first real opponent that Ryu came across was a Muay Thai fighter named Sagat. And he put him to the test, alright.
Oh, yes, he did.
He put all out fight against Ryu on the top of a mountain. And during this fight, the exchange blows, and Sagat actually he was surprised by Ryu's force. I mean, Ryu gave him a real great fight, ending the fight with the good old Shoryuken straight to his chest, which left a pretty nasty scar on his chest, would you say?
Yeah, to say the least.
And fighting more powerful opponent each time, Ryu managed to get his way up the ranking of the Street Fighters. He fighting various fighters, Seth, Yuri. He fought many powerful fighters during his time, and he also came across a few friends as well. But up until now, that's all he's been doing, moving around the world and fighting, getting stronger each day. Up until now.
Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, those are the origins. Now that you're all caught up and know what these two are about, let's get into the real good stuff, the nitty gritty. Now we're getting into the categories. Now then, seeing that these two are pretty similar, the categories will be as such: strength, speed, power, martial arts, special moves / techniques, and transformations. There's not really any need for miscellaneous abilities, as in contrast, none of them really have any true hidden abilities. Like, for example, what's a good example? I guess for Saiyans, their somewhat hidden ability is their Zenkai boost.
Yeah.
When they get beaten down to a pulp but get healed, they literally become way stronger because of it. They literally live by the definition: what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yep.
And technically, Gohan kind of has that trait in a certain way, as he is a half Saiyan. So he'd probably get half as strong normally with Goku. I'm not sure how it works genetically, but in a way, but if you think about it, doesn't every person kind of have that ability in a way?
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't kill you, I guess in theory it would make you stronger as you learn from your mistakes.
So then we have our categories all set up. Let's set them up and knock them down. So category 1, strength. Now then, as you guys know, I list the best feats each character has portrayed over the years. Now when I say strength, I try to be more on the side of actual physical strength, not power strength, as that's a little different. So in terms of actual physical strength, I can only really come to is the time Gohan actually fought Cell, the most infamous fight he's ever had in his entire life. Now, this scene I'm referring to, if you DBZ fans already know this, is the scene where he literally super gut punches Cell and makes him spit out Android 18. I mean, that takes a ridiculous amount of force. Like, seriously, he's spitting out an entire human from his stomach. To do that, in fact, in real life, some boxers can't even make other boxers vomit when you gut punch them. It's actually true. Oh, it's almost impossible to make someone vomit in the middle of a fight. You would either have to be constantly hit in the stomach, or just drive so much force. So Gohan must have hit him with a crap ton of force to make him spit out an entire human out of him.
Yeah, I'd say so.
How much force exactly? I'm not entirely sure, but it was definitely enough to make Cell literally sick to his stomach.
Yeah.
And quite literally made him weaker because of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a crap ton of strength. Now I know you're thinking, but DBZONIC does striking strength. That's not the same as physical. Alright, then how about this? Cell one time destroyed a meteorite twice the size of the Earth, and Gohan was stronger than him. So in technicality, Gohan could do that too.
Yep.
So if you guys really wanted physical strength, there you go. Gohan is strong enough to break something twice the size of planet Earth, which would roughly be something like Saturn.
Yep.
Near enough. So yeah, Gohan could break Saturn with his bare fist if he wanted to. Alright then, cousin. How about Ryu?
Alright, well, Ryu, as you know, Street Fighter, there's many characters portrayed within strength on there, especially the strongest man in the fucking multiverse, Akuma, which, accordingly, is Ryu's father. But I'd say the greatest strength feat that Ryu has ever done was with his father in a battle that they once had during their disagreements. I say disagreement more of not really knowing facts. Like Ryu didn't know who the hell he was, and Akuma he knew but didn't really have a great idea. And anyway, they fought it out, and Ryu wasn't fending off too bad against the Great Master, but Akuma was hitting him from all sides. But this is where the feat comes in. Ryu actually managed to dodge Akuma's attack, which is a fucking great feat in itself. He managed to dodge the attack, then he fucking did the greatest Shoryuken that I would have ever seen on Street Fighter. He hit Akuma with so much force. He sent him so high into the sky that I don't think I've ever seen anyone hit Akuma so far in my life. I mean, Akuma's got strength, not only offense but defense as well. And trust me, to make Akuma go that far into the sky and be affected that much, that is a lot of strength.
How high do you reckon he went?
I'd say a good 40 feet in the air.
Holy! 40 feet in the air! That's literally almost above the treetops. And seeing how they probably were fighting in Japan at the time, most trees in Japan were most likely either sakura trees or similar to pine trees in America.
Yep.
And they could grow up to nearly 100 feet tall. But if they were sakura trees or just regular oak trees like in England, we would literally be punching him way over the treetops.
Yep.
And that's some ridiculous. I mean, that's not only just ridiculous strength. That's just he's literally treating Akuma as if he's a fucking rocket.
Yep. Damn, isn't that some fucking strength? Alright, and now on to the next category.
Actually, cousin, I from now on am doing the first categories and then instantly discussing which is better.
Oh.
So Ryu did that in base form, did he not?
Yep, that was.
So then, how much more powerful would that be if he was transformed?
Well, I'd say if he transformed into, well, not necessarily transformed, but engage the power of nothingness, that would improve tenfold. And not only with the power of nothingness, his speed is increased more than anything actually, which is not many people know. But his strength is really increased tenfold. I mean, I'd say maybe 1,000 times more powerful. And then his next transformation, Evil Ryu, That is a real transformation. His from base form to power of nothingness is a pretty drastic transformation. But then from power of nothingness to evil Ryu, that is a huge transformation, which really increases his strength and which is known, which legend has it, he's almost and I am saying almost as strong as Akuma in base form.
Woo-wee! And as far as I remember from doing Akuma versus Knuckles, in base form didn't he? I mean, he one time punched a submarine straight out of the water, and it blew up after it got out of the water.
Yep.
I mean, and he destroyed an island with his bare fist, and a whole shit ton else.
Yeah.
And similar in his technical second transformation himself, he destroyed a meteorite twice the size of the other. Wait a minute. Anywho, Akuma has loads of transformations himself. He was in Shin Form 1, destroying meteorites twice the size of the Earth with his bare hand. And if you knew the Times Multiplier, which I don't know myself, but if you were but if it was the same as the Saiyan transformation, then Akuma would be able to roughly destroy maybe half the size of the Earth in base form. So if that was true, then Evil Ryu technically can destroy half the size of Earth.
Well, actually, interesting fact, in base form, Akuma can destroy a bit more than Earth. In one of the old comics, Akuma, whilst on his travels, he destroyed a planet that was known to be one of the most strongest materials on what the planet was made out of. Not only was it huge, it was also really hard to destroy as well. And Akuma fucking destroyed that with his Shoryuken.
Oh shit.
Alright, so what about Gohan?
So, okay then. So, this is tough. Now, no one can really say if Cell destroyed the meteorite with his bare strength that one time, or if it was power. But let's see. Both of these seem pretty similar, actually. Gohan gut punches Cell, and Ryu fucking uppercutted his own father.
Mm-hmm.
And then they both have something similar to being able to destroy something that's pretty freaking big. But seeing how I'm trying to use adult Gohan here, I don't know how strong he truly was during his battle with Super Buu. He definitely was most likely physically stronger than Buu.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And I don't know how physically strong Buu was, but seeing how he was tanking hits from Super Saiyan 3 Gold tanks, but he was getting his ass handed to him by his Ultimate Gohan. And seeing how at that point Super Buu was technically a galactic destroyer, and Super Saiyan 3 Gold tanks was technically even with him, meaning Gohan was just slightly above galactic level in terms of power and possibly strength. So at that point in time, Gohan is probably strong enough to destroy maybe if he was lucky, the sun with his bare fist.
Yep.
But it's probably not the smartest idea, but hell, his dad's not done any smart things either. So,
yeah.
But then again, Gohan is the smarter one of the family. But yeah, I say if with enough drive and anger, he could destroy the sun with his bare fist.
So, strength turns.
This is actually harder than it looks.
I'd say possibly around equally. Maybe strength-wise, because physicality is pretty hard to record.
Mm-hmm. But correct me if I'm wrong, cousin. Doesn't Ryu have like a second mode of his evil form?
Yeah, he does. He has his evil. He's got his evil form, and then he's got like extra abilities on top of that, like an extra power up.
Yeah, whereas I like to call it like pure evil Ryu.
Yeah.
Like where he fully gives in.
Yep. So it's the Satsuno Hado, which really it fucks his body up, but it gives him a whole fucking shit ton of strength.
So in pure evil form, how strong would you say he is then?
I'd say
possibly most likely equal to base Akuma?
Yeah, I'd say about that.
And see how Akuma destroyed that planet you were talking about that's bigger than Earth and denser. then in terms of technicality, it sounds like Ryu's stronger.
Yeah.
Now I know you're thinking, how is Ryu stronger? Didn't you just say Gohan could destroy the sun? Well, if you think about it, the sun's not really a solid object, so it wouldn't be too hard. But I don't know, I guess a better comparison would be he'd be able to destroy Jupiter with his bare fist then.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Jupiter is not actually more denser than Earth. In fact, it's been done by scientists and Elon Musk that is actually pretty hollow underneath.
Yeah.
While Earth is incredibly denser than you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have a crap ton of rock and dirt.
Yeah.
And see how the last layer to defend the core of the planet is literally obsidian,
Mm-hmm.
which is the strongest natural material on this planet. Then yeah, if Akuma could destroy a planet that's denser than Earth and bigger, and pure evil Ryu is that strong, then I think without a shadow of a doubt, technically in terms of physical strength, I think Ryu has to win this.
Alright.
Gohan's not slacking behind, but he's not the stronger one. But don't feel sorry for Gohan, he's still a good fighter. Now then, here comes a good part. One of my favorite superpowers, speed.
Alright, here we go.
So, would you like to start with Ryu?
Alright. Well, I'd say his greatest feat with speed would probably be... Ryu's greatest feat during speed would probably be during the power of nothingness. In one of the Street Fighter films, Ryu engaged with the power of nothingness in the desert, and the government was trying to get away from him, but he was so fast it was unreal. He could move from one place to another in a mere split second. It was like almost teleportation. Yeah, so I say that's probably his greatest feat, almost near teleportation.
Whew, boy. Alright, for Gohan. Well, this is actually kind of already explained in Dragon Ball, thankfully. We already know that from the Goku and Cell's battle, they were battling way faster than light speed.
Yeah.
In fact, technically, Goku and Frieza were fighting at light speed in some of the battles. During the scene where the color, for some reason, changes between Super Saiyan Goku and Final Form Frieza, that's technically them moving faster than light can travel. And see how Goku and Cell were going faster than literally even people like Yamcha, Tien, who has 3 eyes, by the way, could even see, and Vegeta was barely struggling to keep up, even though he was too proud to admit it. Everyone was struggling to see, except for Gohan, actually. He saw the entire event. So that means they were going way faster than the speed of light, and seeing how that was Super Saiyan Goku, and Super Saiyan 2 is way more powerful than Super Saiyan 1.
Yeah.
And here's actually the power up page. From base form to Super Saiyan, it's a 50 times multiplier, and then it's times 2 for Super Saiyan 2. Huh, go figure. So that's literally from base to Super Saiyan 2, 100 times multiplier. So then, if Goku was going way beyond light speed, and technically Gohan was possibly twice as strong as Goku in Super Saiyan 2 during the Cell Saga, that would mean he's twice the speed of light.
Damn.
And seeing how Ultimate Gohan is meant to be actually twice as strong as Super Saiyan 2, it was literally said in the Daizenshu that his ultimate form was literally another 2 times multiplier, which makes sense why he's slightly less powerful than Super Saiyan 3. And in fact, that makes a lot of sense, because Super Saiyan 3 is technically a 4 times multiplier on top of Super Saiyan 2. So if you times that 2 again, to make Gohan an adult and his ultimate form, technically that makes him 4 times faster than the speed of light.
Oh my god.
And do you know how fast the speed of light is? It's literally 2.5 billion miles per hour. That is fucking fast. And if we were to try and calculate in our brains, we would need a whole hour to recover, because that would be too much for our brains to handle. So let's just say he's 4 times faster than the speed of light, which to normal people would make him seem like he's moving instantaneously.
Yeah.
but not to the level of Goku, because, well, he technically has literally a teleportation move, but still, moving 4 times the speed of light is no small feat.
No, it is not.
And that is in its final form.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I say looking at both of their feet, maybe I'd say Gohan takes that one because I mean as he goes up in the Super Saiyan levels, his speed gets increased by a shit ton, but Ryu's not necessarily. His speed really increases with the power of nothingness. I'd say that's where it's max. But then when he transforms to evil Ryu, his speed does increase, but he's more about the power and the strength in that form.
It seems like the Sasune Hall is kind of like a sort of berserker thing.
Yeah.
Like you're more about using your brute strength more than being fast and unpredictable.
Yeah.
Whereas the power of nothingness, he's like literally nothing will distract him. He's super focused.
Yep.
So his speed will be absolutely ridiculous. Given how Ryu in base form is already faster than fucking automatic 9mm bullets in just one of the anime. In Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, he did that. So yeah, his speed is ridiculous, but we've seen how fast people in Dragon Ball fight.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll give that one to Gohan.
Alright, so they both so far have a point each. Now then, I think we'll leave power till last actually. Now let's go on to technique/special moves. The reason I call it both techniques and special moves is because no one really knows what techniques are all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, techniques for Gohan are pretty simple. He knows the Kamehameha, the Super Kamehameha. He knows like the Super Boosted Kamehameha, as he doesn't know how to do the Father Son anymore in his adult, but he can add like an extra boost of power onto it. He also knows the Masenko, the Super Masenko. He does key balls, some key beams. He also does like a key force attack like Goku does sometimes.
Yeah.
He hasn't learned the full body force away that Goku used to do, but he does do something similar with his powering up. Like he powers up so fast and so hard that it knocks people flying away from him.
Yeah.
And
he's also got a Soaring Dragon Strike,
which is a complete copy of the Shoryuken.
Yeah.
Because translated, Shoryuken means Rising Dragon Punch.
Yep.
And what's another word for rising? Soaring.
Yeah.
So Rising Dragon Punch, Soaring Dragon Strike. Yeah, that's a direct copy.
Yeah.
Which we'll actually explain near the end, but let's get on to this really quickly. So that's almost everything Gohan knows, except for one extra little thing. Gohan also does some even bigger key balls, like near the size of almost the size of I'm trying to think of the size. Like the size of a giant inflatable football, like those really big beach balls. And that's really about it, really. There's no other tricks and abilities he knows. But yeah, those are his techniques. So yeah, those are his special moves. So what does Ryu have to offer?
Alright.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot. Also, Gohan has the Golden Kamehameha.
Oh yeah.
Which, according to the manga, had like an electrical feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So does that explain why it was gold?
I guess so, yeah.
I always thought it was just like Goku's angry Kamehameha, like Gohan was just furious.
Yeah.
But I guess it was like an electric Kamehameha. Interesting.
Alright. And as all you Street Fighter players out there would already know, this basic moveset of Ryu, obviously the Hadouken, the Shin Hadouken, the Mesu Hadouken, the Shoryuken, the Tatsumaki Senkabuki. There is a hell of a array of moves. He's got actually he can also use the Shungoku Zatsu, but it's not to the ability of Akuma. It's slightly less, not powerful because it attacks the soul, but in terms of
controllability,
the control of the move, he's not up to par with it really yet. But he can also do the the Shankanetsu, which is known as the Fire Hadouken. That's an awesome move. He can also do a fire Shoryuken, where all of it is his fist is inflamed while he does the Shoryuken, a bit like Ken. He has a few other moves as well. He has a few other basic moves as well. But I'd say that's about all of Ryu's techniques and abilities.
Correct me if I'm wrong, cousin. Doesn't Ryu have something similar to an electric Hadouken?
Yes, sort of. He does. That's in the power of nothingness. His Hadoukens are sort of electric based.
Kind of like what Goken can do.
Yeah.
And he also, if I remember correctly, he also has a Metsu version of the Shoryuken, where he punches once with one fist, then he punches again, and he literally fucking makes you soar into the sky.
Yeah, the Metsu Shoryuken, that is a really fucking powerful move. That's one of his most powerful moves that he's ever used, actually.
And if I remember correctly, doesn't his evil form have something similar to the ground fist move?
Yeah, it does. But again, that's not up to par with the original Akuma's.
Yeah. Now, would you say his demon teleportation is a special move or more of a technique or like an ability?
I say that's suppose like an ability. Yes. His demon teleportation, but he has to be an evil Ryu to do this.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, well, this one's the hard one. We can't really base off best feats. Well, we can with their most iconic moves if we wanted to. In terms of quantity, they're both pretty even-ish.
Yeah.
But if we were to discuss who's done the best feat of their best power moves, then well, we can't. That's actually speaking as an unbiased person. That's impossible to decide because they both literally have done the same thing.
Exactly.
Gohan killed Cell with a ultra-powered father-son Kamehameha to Cell, and what did Ryu do to Cell?
Ryu did a fucking basically it's the same as a fucking Kamehameha, but it was a Hadouken in beam form, which fucking destroyed Seth.
Damn. And now I know you're thinking, wait a minute, I'm seeing a pattern here. I will explain at the very, very end, so be patient. So in terms of special moves and techniques, it's actually pretty equal.
Yeah.
So that's a tie.
That was a tie.
And I suppose they both get like a point each.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on. The next one, if I remember correctly, is abilities.
Alright.
So what like hidden abilities do they have? Alright, how about you talk about Ryu? What hidden abilities does he have?
Alright, so in hidden abilities, we're talking...
Or just abilities in general?
Yeah, right. Ryu's abilities, to start out with, his transformations. He has the power of nothingness, which I have already explained what exactly that entails, and his evil form, and his pure evil form as well. He has those 3 transformations, giving him power more by the tenfold each time he transforms. But ability wise, he has an uncanny ability to control Hado. He's out of all of the Street Fighters, he is one of the greatest users of the Hado. He can manipulate different moves and basically create it into his own, which makes him a really, really unsuspecting fighter. But I'd say that's probably about it for his abilities. And also his demon teleportation, as we mentioned earlier, which is an ability, which, as you Street Fighter fans would know, is he's able to use the Hado as like a sort of shield to manage to let you propel his body across from one point to another, but sheer speed.
And it seems to make it look like his mana goes through the opponent and ends up on the other side intact.
Yep.
Kind of like what Cat does in X-Men. Or something kind of similar to another ability of someone I can't remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, for Gohan, it's pretty simple. Obviously, he can transform, because, well, that's obvious. Gohan has a pretty uncanny ability to use his anger to power himself up even more. And he has a pretty good control over his power. He doesn't waste it too much, but he's able to control it into powerful punches and kicks.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference. One time he punched Frieza normally, then one time he power punched him, and you literally could feel the force from the episode.
Yeah. Man, that was a great episode.
With every single power hard punch, you probably an alien billions of miles away could feel it in real life. And I know you're thinking, that's impossible. Well, it's anime, so anything's possible. And that's really about it. Gohan technically doesn't have anything like a teleportation trick, sadly. But he does have his uncanny ability to be pretty fast on the battlefield. And he has some pretty quick attacks as well. Thanks from training from both Goku and Piccolo, he's pretty much seen almost every type of fighting style there is, and is pretty good at blocking himself and dodging many attacks. So he's pretty well versed against people who use different styles. Because Goku obviously uses Kung Fu, and Piccolo's style is, kind of unknown. He uses a mixed array.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of, abilities. And, I guess it's not, and because of, there's not much in terms of comparison.
Yeah, we can't really
compare it that way.
Yeah, the ability category is just mainly a bit of a
info.
Giving you a bit of info on what abilities they have. Alright, I'm on to the next category.
Transformations. Now this is the good part. Now then, how this works is either how good the transformations are or how many the said person has. Now then, Gohan has obviously the Super Saiyan 2, and technically, and I know you're thinking, his ultimate form is technically not a transformation. Well, actually, yes it was, because when Gohan was powering up to try and turn Super Saiyan, his eyes were green, but his hair stayed black, meaning he technically did transform. And also, it is a transformation in both the video games and in the manga, because in the Daizenshu, and in the anime, it said, I could swear someone said Gohan's transformed, but he hasn't changed that much. So in a way, yeah, technically that is a transformation. So technically 3. That's 3 transformations to smack there and then. Boom.
Boom.
So how many does Ryu have then?
Ryu's got 3, also 3 in total. He has the power of nothingness, evil Ryu, and then pure evil Ryu. Whereas obviously the power of nothingness entails more of the calm side of the Hado, but increases his power, speed, and strength in a great amount. Evil Ryu is more towards the Sasui no Hado side of things, which increases his power a hell of a lot more and his strength. His speed not so much. And then pure evil Ryu, his power really gets out of control there. It almost literally gets out of control for his body to not be able to handle. But he's managed to get it to grips with it a bit now, so he can use this with great power against his enemies.
So, and on the plus side, it makes him one tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so transformations. We could try and go into the discussion which one's better, but it seems like they both equally technically are 3, and all of them kind of do basically the same thing. It's technically another draw.
Yeah.
So now the final one. This is where it's at. Power. Now then, this can be down to 2 ways. One, who has more power, or who has better control over that power.
Yep.
Because actually a good example is this. Magneto has a lot of power, but he doesn't seem to have a good control over it.
Yeah.
He seems to use it too much, and he's too cocky.
Yeah.
Whereas people like Goku while he does use a crap ton of his power, he has incredibly great control over it.
Yeah. His knowledge of the power enables him to control it.
So then, who has more power? Well, that's rather hard to discuss actually, because as far as we know, there's not a technical proper power level scaling in Street Fighter, and actually both said by Akira Toriyama and in the Daizenshu, after about the Frieza saga, power levels became, well, it came to a point where there's no point in trying to calculate because they got too ridiculous. So with saying that, I'd say they're near enough even anyway.
Yeah, I mean they both have great feats with their power. Ryu in his battles with Bison as such, where he was entrapped in the sort of Hadou like shield, and which no one could get out of. All the other fighters was doing what they could, doing their best to try and get him out of, and none of them prevailed until Ryu really got ticked off with Bison and unveiled the fucking Hadouken, and boy did he destroy it.
And how strong would you say that Hadou shield was?
Very fucking strong. Literally none of the other Street Fighters could destroy it, including Ken.
Including Ken Masters, who's almost as strong as Ryu in terms of power and everything?
No one else could break it. Not even Bison could break it, actually.
Not even fucking Bison could break it. Yeah. Only the awesomeness that is Ryu could do it. So, and also Gohan, you've seen him do a shit ton of ridiculous feats with his power.
Yeah.
And it's always through getting angry. He got angry at Frieza, beat the shit out of him in Form 1, Form 2, hell, hurt him a bit in Form 3, Final Form, a bit, but no. Sadly not a lot, but he did his fair part.
Yeah.
Against Cell, fucking hell, he whooped him at first.
Yeah.
And then against Boo, oh my god, whooped is not a word. He fucking destroyed him.
Yeah, he fucking demolished his ass.
But even though Boo got more powerful by being Boo tanks, Gohan put up a fair fight anyway.
Yeah, he did.
Hell, I'd even say, as a true Dragon Ball Z fan, that Gohan in his ultimate form would provide Super Saiyan 3 Goku with a hell of a challenge.
Yeah.
And we all know how powerful Goku is.
Oh yeah.
His power is really fucking donkulous.
Yep. Absolutely ridiculous.
So in power levels, not really discussable, but better control. I say they both have a pretty good grasp on their power.
Yeah, they also both get angry mainly due to their loved ones being hurt.
And it's due to also the fact that they're human.
Yeah. Because
for some reason, humans seem to lose their shit when their loved ones get hurt. Saiyans don't really care that much.
Yep. With them being with Gohan being half Saiyan and Ryu being half demon, that would make them a bit more,
way more aggressive than normal.
Way more aggressive.
And if you think about it, both their transformations after their first ones both put a great drain on their power anyway, but they seem to be able to control it fairly decently, regardless.
Yep. Alright, so
in terms of power, it's not technically almost undecidable, but in reality, it doesn't really matter that much. If I'm actually being honest, it doesn't matter because, well, if you think about it, when it truly comes down to it, when you're trying to put a number on something like ki or chi, you might as well just be doing rocket science because it's ridiculous. You might as well just be calculating magic instead.
It gets better every time and it never fails to impress.
So, overall, ladies and gentlemen, let's count the numbers down. So, strength went to Ryu.
Speed managed to go to Gohan.
Special moves and techniques was a tie. Their abilities was, well,
uncountable.
Their transformations tie, and the power technically a tie as well.
Yep. So all in all, it's basically a tie. All in all.
So if it was to go down between the two sons of the greatest fighters in fictional history, they are completely and utterly even.
Yep.
And now finally, and here's the main reason why. They're both technically the same person.
Yeah, they are fucking so alike. It's unreal. I mean, Ryu being the main protagonist in Street Fighter in most parts is the only sort of difference, as
Yeah.
Goku's the main protagonist in Dragon Ball. But still, saying that, they both have fathers who are fucking the most powerful in their universe.
Mm-hmm.
They both grew up getting knowledge from fighting and karate. Actually, they both have epic transformations.
They both got trained by people who they consider family.
Yep, they also both have friends who are similar too. They each have a best friend who's around their age and uses as like a fighting partner.
Yep, and a better example of this is the time with Future Gohan. He had a training partner as known as Future Trunks.
Yep.
And even more similar, they both have a younger brother.
Who looks a bit like I say more like their fathers than them.
Yeah. Goten was the spinning image of Goku.
Yeah, whereas Shun, he looks more like Akuma than Ryu though. Yeah, with his hair and what have you.
Yeah, but to be fair, I feel like Shun looked a little bit more like Akuma looked like when he was human.
Yeah, he did.
Whereas Ryu, but if you ever watched Street Fighter 2V, for some reason Ryu's hair is sort of spiked up and made him look almost exactly like adult Gohan.
Yep.
Which looked really weird. And also, to prove even further, they both killed an android that was comprised of the greatest fighter's DNA and data.
And to even further this, they both got trained by not their fathers, but I'd say the next most powerful fighters who
at that point in
time, yeah.
Because as we all know, Piccolo was second strongest and most powerful to Goku.
And Goken was the second most powerful to Akuma.
And there's quite a few similarities to Goken and Piccolo in many ways, actually.
Yeah.
Goken eventually became a guardian of sorts, and Piccolo's technicality is a guardian, as he also is Kami.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, they have a lot in common.
Also, technically, both their names mean something else. Ryu's name means dragon, whereas Gohan actually means rice.
Yeah.
Which is rather funny, actually. But even prove it further, Akuma's real name is Goki, which is similar to Goku's Earth name, Goku.
I mean, what are the fucking odds?
What is the fucking odds? And also, his uncle's name is Goken.
Yeah.
And was Goku's second son Goten?
Yep, I mean, come on.
How much more on the nose can you get? And also, the Hadouken is basically the Kamehameha.
I know.
I mean, come on. If none of you have discovered that Street Fighter is similar to Dragon Ball, then you guys have not been paying attention that much.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I guess they're not super similar, as technically Dragon Ball started as a manga, whereas Street Fighter started off as a video game.
Yeah.
But technically both are owned by Japanese companies. Capcom is from Japan, and while Akira Toriyama does own rights to Dragon Ball, it's actually Toei Animation that sort of owns the rights to the media of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And also kind of Shonen Jump as well, as they make some of the mangas.
So that concludes our little discussion today.
Yep. So in this panel, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while, but there's finally another tie. Gohan versus Ryu. The winner is no one. So, but very quickly, cousin, if they were to fight, how do you reckon it would start, and how do you reckon it would end?
I reckon it would start out as them both using mainly their martial arts against each other, testing each other's abilities out, seeing who's better at what. But then I say they both get a bit angry at each other, as they'd be fairly equal. Then, obviously, going through transformation after transformation, they'd eventually reach their heightened point and become using their best power moves, they probably send themselves into an inferno.
That's a very descriptive point, but I was more referring to how would they meet up?
I actually, would you care to?
Well, seeing how technically the multiverse is a thing, and if you think about it, I've always said fictional multiverse, and because it's been proven that every fictional universe and multiverse is connected. DC and Marvel have already crossed over.
Mm-hmm.
DC and Mortal Kombat have crossed over. Street Fighter and Tekken have crossed over. Dragon Ball and fucking Dr. Slum has crossed over. And there's lots more. Like Tekken has crossed over a bit with Final Fantasy and King of Fighters.
Yeah.
And also Capcom crossed over with SNK and Marvel.
And they almost all a whole shit ton of categories.
Yep, Sonic crossed over with Capcom with the Mega Man series.
Yeah. And not forgetting one of the biggest crossovers, Smash Brothers.
Yep, where it brings not only Nintendo characters but other characters like Solid Snake, Sonic, and loads of characters.
Yep.
So bringing in Konami and freaking Sega.
Yeah.
And if we ever finally get a Sonic and Dragon Ball crossover, it would just bring everything together.
Yeah.
And seeming how Sonic has if I'm allowed to reference the comics here, Sonic did actually say once he remembered he actually ran through one universe where there was people with an unusual type of power. And I know you're thinking, what would be unusual to Sonic? Well, think about it. Sonic's power is not ki, it's chaos. And there's magic in his world, but no one uses ki. So unusual to him would be something like maybe ki.
Yeah.
And it's funny, in all Sonic universes, he's never faced anyone who's had ki before. So for him to say he went to a world where the power was unusual, then would that be hinting at a world that uses ki power?
Could be.
Because, well, Sonic's made magic, so if he went to someone like Fairy Tail, he would be like, that's normal.
Yeah.
But if he went to someone like, say, like Naruto, where they have chakra, he would be rather baffled.
Yeah.
So, with saying that, I like to theorize that maybe they meet up at a sort of a multiversal tournament.
Yeah.
And in this tournament, it's not due to numbers, it's actually people challenging other people. Maybe, I don't know, Maybe Gohan is all hyped up from seeing other battles, so he actually wants to see how good he's gotten over the years.
Yeah.
And with Ryu always never standing down a challenge against someone, he'd probably rise up to the challenge.
Yep.
And seeing how technically, well, if you think about this, Ryu has been the champion of Street Fighter 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
The Street Fighter tournament. And Gohan has faced 3 super powerful people 3 times. He's faced Frieza, Cell, and Boo, the 3 big ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, if he can stand up to them, that's definitely championship worthy. So yeah. And also, Gohan would probably want to fight him anyway, as Goku would be like, hey Gohan, that guy has a similar power level to you. And Gohan would be like, what? What do you mean power level? And he's like, don't you sense he uses ki? And Gohan's like, wait, what? And then Ryu's like, wait, the hell's ki? I thought I used Hado. And then Kuma would be like, Ryu, you blinking idiot, it's the same thing. And Ryu would be like, whoops.
Yeah.
But besides that, that's one possibility. The only other possibility I can think of is one of them accidentally goes in the other one's world.
Yeah.
And that's not actually unusual for both Dragon Ball and Street Fighter, as technically Ryu did accidentally go into Azura's world.
Yep.
And if you guys want to see a good battle, watch a YouTube gameplay of Ryu versus Azura. Holy crap, is that a fight to watch? And then the fight after that, Akuma versus Azura. And in that point, I must bring up real quick, Capcom literally said in that battle, literally admitting it, that Akuma is their strongest character, because it was called Angriest versus the Strongest, and the battle's called Azura versus Akuma.
Mm-hmm.
So if you So if you're going by the names, the way the names are presented and the title, Azura is obviously the angry one, and Akuma is obviously the strong one.
Yep.
So in that instance, Capcom literally admitted Akuma's the strongest. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this. This has been a great little discussion video. I'm actually glad I got my cousin, who's a huge Dragon Ball and Street Fighter fan, to help me with this battle. And in future videos, guys, there's going to be a lot more interesting and great battles. If you guys like this video, please do leave a like and leave a comment. Subscribe to join the Hedgehog Army /Nation today. Make sure you click that little bell so you can be notified when I make another video. Also, make sure you comment on me hard that share button and share with all your friends. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me, Adam.
Oh, that's alright. Maybe I'll be joining you again soon.
Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have a suggestion of who you would like me to discuss, and I do insist, leave it in the comments below. If it's a good one, I will attempt to do it. I have some others already set up, but I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And hell, if you guys suggesting some, it might make my series even more interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and as always, a Dragon Fist. Hiya!